why NDSU students showed off their designs on the runway and the work they put into getting ready for the show.
The Baccalaureate is back at NDSU's Memorial Gallery. We talk with some of the senior artists about their experiences.
NDSU Theater present the 12th night play that showcases this week.
And after ending a 4-year playoff drought, Bison soccer turns around the program.
Good evening and welcome to the Bison Information Network. I'm Malik Mitchell.
And I'm Dash Menzel. We have the latest campus and local news coming up this evening, so you don't want to go away.
As we head into spring, a sense of fashion is starting to arouse around campus.
Yesterday, one NDSU organization hosted a fashion showcase here on campus.
It's Fashion Week at NDSU, which means NDSU students can show off their passion for fashion. Yesterday, the Fashion, Apparel, and Business Organization, or FABO, hosted their 22nd annual fashion show in the Oshedi Ballroom at the Union.
We collaborate with brands around the area, so like Shields, Veil and Lavender, a couple of the bridal shops that are around, and we get clothing on rent and we are able to show it.
The theme of this year's show was Day and Night, and it showcased work done by student designers as well.
I've been sewing since I was about 12 years old, and I created 5 looks to put in this show, which was very last minute, very exciting things.
Students have spent many hours over the past few months preparing for the show and making sure their designs are ready to go.
A lot of the work is working on what you want the outfit to be, so like you're gonna have to draft patterns, and a lot of the time it's sketching, which is pretty much just how do you want the garment to look when it's finishing on a person. After that you end up choosing your fabric and you're going to make a mock-up, and with that it just kind of ensures that the garment's going to fit the individual and such, and then you make it out of the final fabric and make any final edits that need to be done.
While FABO is made up mostly of students in the apparel design or the interior design programs, the organization is open to everyone. Besides planning and putting together the fashion show, members in the club get the chance to work on craft projects, discuss current fashion events, and listen to guest speakers from within the industry. Students who are interested in joining the club can do so on My NDSU. And for students like Paige, their favorite part of the club is getting to see all their hard work pay off at the fashion show.
I like being able to not only see my designs on stage, but also be able to model my designs and other people's designs.
From Bison Information Network, I'm Coy Hartle.
The Baccalaureate reception is back at the NDSU Memorial Union Gallery.
I have more on this artistic event. Every semester, Baccalaureate Visual Arts seniors develop a cohesive, conceptually concise body of work. Each examines a complex theme researched and interpreted into a medium reflecting their personal visions. I was able to talk to NDSU senior Vanessa Blanchett about what goes on at the Baccalaureate.
Tonight we have a baccalaureate, which is basically like our senior project. So every senior has to take baccalaureate, and it's like a semester-long project that you work on, a body of work that you basically create, and then you end up doing an exhibition for the first time to the public.
Vanessa, along with fellow NDSU senior Yuki Coyle, told me about their bodies of work and what they mean.
Mine is a graphic design exhibition. It kind of is like a multimedia one that interacts like physical work and digital work together into 5 magazine covers.
My artwork is watercolor paintings, and they're investigating ideas of exploration and imagination. And they're just like small paintings cut out on wood and mounted on the wall.
The students told me about how being in this program has helped them and how it can help future students as well.
I would say like it's a very, very positive environment at Renaissance Hall. All the faculty are very, very supportive, and so going up into this point, I felt very prepared. The class that we take to do this project is very helpful, and so I felt very much prepared to do this project. I would encourage any freshman to go in the program.
This program has been very rigorous, I would say. It's pushed me a lot to try new things and learn new techniques. It was stressful at the time, but coming out of it, I'm really happy that I did it and made it through.
The Baccalaureate will be back at the Memorial Union Gallery this fall. Reporting from the Memorial Union Gallery, I'm Dashel Menzel.
Thanks, Dash. As we head into May, the weather is now warming up. That means that NDSU athletics will be returning from their long stretch down south. Both NDSU softball and baseball will return home this weekend, giving you the perfect opportunity to enjoy a ball game with friends and family. Baseball kicks off tomorrow and softball kicks off tomorrow. Go give the fellow Bison some support while enjoying some good weather. And with the snow finally melting away, the trash has accumulated throughout the winter. It is now scattered around campus. Earlier today, NDSU hosted a campus cleanup that involving bringing the community together. Volunteers that range from students, faculty, and staff cleaning up campus to show off the beautiful spaces NDSU has to offer. These volunteers worked in 30-minute shifts, cleaning up locations like Aldeveron Tower, Berry Hall, the NDSU Nursing at Sanford Health Program, and Bismarck.
The Personal Development Work Group and the Physical Health and Environment Group in the PCCW came together to have a campus cleanup. And really the reason we wanted to do this has been an annual event for the PCCW, and it's a way to not only bring community together on campus, but to clean up the campus after the winter season and get it ready for the summer and make everything look great.
Mira Sweetheart, an associate professor at the Software and Information Systems Department at the University of North Carolina, presents the cyber risks of IoT growth on the average tech user, lessons from the smart home, and why cybersecurity awareness and workforce development are more critical than ever. Sweetheart will present her recent research efforts on building cybersecurity awareness and bringing inclusive and engaging pedagogy to advanced cybersecurity education. This includes scalable web-based framework, criminal investigations, and writing concepts in the POJIL style. This presentation begins at 10 a.m. tomorrow morning in the Beckwith Recital Hall. Free food will be provided. NDSU Theatre is putting on their final set of shows for the year. Z Stockwell got a chance to sit down in a rehearsal and get some insight.
NDSU's award-winning theater program is presenting Shakespeare's Twelfth Night with a queer punk twist. The cast and crew allowed me to sit in on a tech rehearsal and ask some of the actors to voice their opinions about the show.
So basically, have you ever seen She's the Man with Amanda Vines? That movie was based on this. So basically you've got a case of mistaken identity, you've got a woman who pretends to be a man who try and get closer to another guy, but then this guy ends up falling in love with him, as it were, but then you've got another woman that he's trying to woo. And it's just it's a funny little romp that goes wild.
It's about family and coming to terms with who you are in your family, I think. And that's been my discovery of my character, and especially in this setting and in the queer punk show, it really, I cannot emphasize enough how much it delves into like loving who you are and loving where you are in life. I have had such a long journey in my queer identity, and getting to explore that on stage in a place that this is the world that it's celebrating queer, and it's queer power and queer joy and all of these things. It's so exciting to me to be able to express that on stage and bring it to a modern audience in such a classic tale.
This play has proved itself to be timeless. With an enjoyable plot, this rom-com will leave audiences thoroughly entertained. And for those who tend to stray away from Shakespeare due to the difficult dialect, this show is very easy to understand.
It's told through a contemporary lens. Because that's an issue that I had with Shakespeare, was that it felt very inaccessible, and I didn't really like the fact that it was like, 1600s, right? And it feels very disconnected from our reality. But seeing people who you might see out on the street kind of saying these things makes you relate more to their characters and their plights.
It's not just watching theater, it's not passive. This is a very active show, and I want you to be here, and I want people to come and see and enjoy 12th Night, so you should come and be with us.
12th Night will be performed tonight, tomorrow, and Saturday at 7:30 p.m. It will be performed in the Walsh Studio at Askenays Hall. NDSU students receive free admission. Reserve your tickets on Theatre NDSU's website with your student ID number, or buy tickets at the box office. For the Bison Information Network, I'm Z Stockwell.
Thanks, Z. Make sure you guys catch the next show tonight at 7:30. Tropic Like It's Hot at the Resident Dining Center's Tropical Pool Party next Tuesday. RDC will provide a lunchtime menu featuring a wide variety of tropical foods that will make you want to walk on the sand. This menu includes a tropical burger, popcorn shrimp, Thai pineapple rice, Caribbean fruit salad, and Cuban soup. You will also get a chance to guess how many Swedish fish there are in their fish bowl for a chance to win an NDSU beach towel, sunglasses, or a bucket hat from the NDSU bookstore. It may be 5 o'clock somewhere, but this event only runs from 11 to 2:30 next Tuesday.
With the school year almost over, those textbooks are nearing the end of their usefulness. Luckily for you, the NDSU bookstore is offering cash to buy your books back, even if you did not purchase them from the bookstore. The buyback kicks off next Monday and will run until the end of the spring semester on May 12th. If you can't make it to the bookstore and you have a digital copy, you can sell your books online through MSB. To learn more, go to www.ndsubookstore.com/buybackrental.
The NDSU Graduate School and the Office of Multicultural Programs hosts Including You. Including You is a conversation series open to the NDSU community that focuses on a diverse range of experiences and identities in higher education. The missions of Including You are to develop community among staff, students, and faculty through dialogue learning and mutual visioning, to shed light on present efforts to work towards inclusion related to the topic presented, and to spark dialogue about challenges, ideas, concerns, and hopes regarding the development of inclusive practices at NDSU. This session will be held on Zoom next Wednesday from noon to 1. When we come back, we'll take a look at some local and national stories. Stay tuned.
There are so many great things to experience at NDSU. It's hard to pick one, but my favorite is
the people. They make it such a warm place. The Bison aren't just across the country, they're across the globe.
It's the perfect distance from home. The faculty are our biggest cheerleaders. Hands-on research experience. The affordable tuition.
All the opportunities to stay active on campus.
Real-world learning experiences.
Once I got on campus, it felt like home.
My name is Addie Stewart, and I graduated from NDSU in the Department of Communication in 2018. My degree was in strategic communication, and I'm the communications specialist for the city of West Fargo. That includes social media, press releases, breaking news, interviews, media relations, and more. I went into communication because I wanted to do something I was passionate about. There were so many opportunities. I knew I could work for nonprofits, government, small business, agency work. Professors in the department definitely impacted me a lot in my life, making sure that once I graduated college, I knew I could get a job here just because of the connections in the department and the great morale that was in Fargo. Future students should definitely come to NDSU because it's a degree like no other here.
The NDSU bookstore has everything you need to show off your Bison pride. The bookstore can have you sporting green and gold wherever you go. It offers many different brands, sizes, styles, and selection so that you find exactly what you're looking for. Shop the NDSU bookstore and show your spirit today.
A West Fargo man has been arrested after fleeing on foot from a traffic stop. At around 9:30 a.m. on Tuesday morning, West Fargo police tried to stop 47-year-old Timmy Bush for a traffic violation. Bush immediately got out of his vehicle and ran. Officers caught Bush a short time later and arrested him for DUI refusal, driving under suspension, fleeing, and resisting arrest. Police say other charges are possible as the investigation continues.
North Dakota residents may finally be able to breathe a little easier this next tax season after the House passed a major tax relief plan. The plan includes an expanded homestead property tax credit, a new primary residence credit, and elimination of state income tax for individual filers under $45,000 per year. The bill will cost the state about $515 million every 2-year budget cycle. However, the bill must go through the Senate first. And as it gets warmer out, people will be traveling more to participate in outdoor activities like camping, fishing, and hiking. However, you may want to leave a little earlier for these events. The highway congestion will likely become worse for the next several months. I-29 south of Fargo will be slowed down as it undergoes construction. The construction project aims to raise the interstate in an attempt to escape the flood level zone. Traffic will be shifted to northbound bypass lane, meaning there will only be a single lane for that stretch. The North Dakota Department of Transportation says the work will last about 6 months and greatly urges drivers to be aware of the changing conditions and slow down in work zones.
And now we head into national news. Authorities in Oregon say a woman has been sentenced to prison for stealing hundreds of thousands of dollars from her own mother. 52-year-old Nicole Mary Stevens was found guilty of 2 counts of first-degree aggravated theft and 2 counts of first-degree criminal mistreatment. Authorities say that Stevens stole more than $400,000 from her mother, who has dementia, back in 2020. And by February of 2021, she had spent more than 3/4 of the money. One of the many things that Stevens purchased was a $24,500 vehicle. She received received a 29-month prison sentence last Friday.
A sudden tragedy involving a 16-year-old tri-sport athlete has caught the attention of and saddened many across the nation. That 6-year-old was Kyle Limper, a Philadelphia high school student that played football, wrestled, and ran track at Penn Treaty High School before suddenly dying on April 13th. One day after a basketball game, Kyle complained of experiencing some back pain. Limper was taken to Jefferson Hospital and was told to come back in a few days if the pain didn't get better. Yet, in those few days, he couldn't even stand up. He was rushed to St. Christopher's Hospital for Children, where it was discovered that the teen had leukemia, which was shutting down his organs, and he sadly passed away only 24 hours later. Remember to always tell your loved ones how much you love them and appreciate every moment to the fullest. When we come back, I will have your Bison Sports Report for the week. Don't go anywhere.
My name is Becky Parker, and I'm a news anchor at WDAY-TV. I graduated from NDSU in 2010 with a degree in journalism, broadcasting, and mass communication technologies, and then I had an emphasis on broadcasting. Principles of broadcast production and advanced broadcast production. Those were favorites because they were the most relevant for career experience. You're calling people for interviews, you're writing an article. It doesn't just feel like an assignment, it's like actually doing it. I was the news director for the first full semester of the Bison Information Network. The BIN advisor here was very much invested in me to actually have a career in broadcasting. He helped me get my internship and my first job. The people in NDSU's Department of Communication are really interested and helpful in getting students the connections that they need in order to get a job beyond school.
No kid deserves to go hungry, but try as they might, not every family can afford to put food on the table every day. That's why the Great Plains Food Bank and their partner agencies work every day to bring food to our hungry neighbors. Every dollar donated can provide 4 meals for those in need. Go to greatplainsfoodbank.org and donate today, so no kid in North Dakota ever has to go hungry.
After making the Summer League tournament this past season, Bison Soccer has made a statement for seasons to come. I got the opportunity to sit with a veteran player and got a deeper look into their success. Bison Soccer has had a rocky road, losing 3 consecutive conference seasons, including this past season. In 2021, the Bison began their season on a 5-game losing streak, only accumulating 3 wins, both in conference and non-conference play. Despite this, NDSU overcame that difficult chapter this past season, receiving no losses in their first 4 games, assembling 2 ties and 2 wins. The Bison scored 7 goals in these 4 games while holding opponents to just 2.
This last season was overall a lot better than the previous 3 because we've been working since last January on setting standards in place and finally figuring out what our team culture is. We lacked that in the previous years, and we didn't really know what the Bison way was and how we wanted to play. So this last season was a big growing point for us, and we were able to know overall through everyone what those standards were and how we really wanted to play.
Junior Ashley Healy has been a tremendous asset to this team, playing defense for the first time at the college level. She was named Summit League Defensive Peak Performer of the Week in Week 5 this past season. She started all 20 games, played every minute, and helped the defense keep 7 clean sheets.
I do think this was my best season. I was able to help the team in many different ways. I learned a new defensive role. It was my first year playing center back. I was a midfielder before, so I think I was able to learn a lot from my teammates, which allowed me to grow my game in different areas that I haven't been able to do before. I was able to see different parts of the field, and I was just able to help the team in different ways, which I think was allowing me to play the best season I had.
the Bison fought and clawed their way to the Summer League tournament for the first time in 4 years. Despite losing 2-1 and double overtime in the opening round against Oral Roberts, the Bison switched the team's narrative from helpless to hopeful.
Last spring break, this team went on a England trip. So we went on a foreign trip together, and this allowed us to get very close off the field, which I think then translates onto the field. We've been trying to find our team culture in the Bison way, and we felt very lost because there wasn't a lot of leadership within our team. But now we have great leaders, we have great role models, and even if we're winning games, we still want to do better and we want more. Like we're never satisfied overall.
In November, head coach Mike Reagan announced the signing of 10 players to the 2023-2024 signee class. The class includes 9 field players and 1 goalkeeper coming from 7 different states across the country. With these new additions, hopefully the Bison can continue to build on last year's improvement. For the Bison Information Network, I'm Malik Mitchell. Bison baseball faced their biggest test in the conference this past weekend against number 1 Oral Roberts. Playing in Council Bluffs, Iowa, the Bison came out with only 1 win in the 3-game series. On Friday, the Bison had a rocky start, losing 10-0 in 7 innings. The Golden Eagles scored 2 runs in the first and third inning. They came back scoring 1 run in the 6th before assembling 5 runs in the 7th to end the game. On Saturday, the Bison avenged that loss, winning 4-2. The game was tied 1-1 before junior Carson Hake hit an RBI single, scoring junior Stephen Lund to go up 1. Oral Roberts managed to tie the game once again, 2-2 in the 7th inning. However, the Bison replied, scoring 2 runs in the 8th, holding off the Golden Eagles for the rest of the way. Senior Drew Sackett led the Bison with 2 hits and 1 run. On Saturday, the Bison would have their work cut out for them, playing until 13 innings. The Bison came out swinging after Jason Dunlap hit a 3-1 home run in the first inning. Refusing to back down, Oral Roberts struck back in the 3rd inning with a 3-run home run of their own. After a couple quiet innings, Drew Sackett finally made some noise, hitting a home run in the 6th inning. Oral Roberts managed to tie the game in the 8th before scoring 4 runs on 4 hits, including 2 home runs, all in the 13th inning. Unfortunately, the Bison couldn't recover from that devastating run as they would lose 8-4. James Dunlap finished with 2 hits, 3 RBIs, and 1 run, and Drew Sackett had 2 hits, 1 RBI, and 2 runs. And finally, on Tuesday, the Bison defeated the University of Minnesota in Minneapolis, avenging the loss from 2 weeks ago. The Bison jumped out to a 2-0 lead in the 2nd inning before racking up 5 runs in the 4th inning. Those runs came from 2 RBI singles and a 3-run home run from senior Peter Brookshaw. After scoring another run in the 6th, senior Terrell Huggins blasted a 2 RBI single to end the game 10-3. Brookshaw had 2 hits, 3 RBIs, and 2 runs, and Huggins had 2 hits, 2 RBIs, and 2 runs. They are now 12-26 overall, 7-5 in the conference. They'll be back in action tomorrow at home, taking on Western Illinois at 6:30 p.m. at the Newman Outdoor Field. Bison softball had an outstanding performance last weekend, sweeping St. Thomas in a 3-game series in Minnesota. On Sunday, they had a doubleheader, and the Bison made a statement, holding the Tommies to just 0 runs. In Game 1, the Bison took the win 5-0. In the 2nd inning, the Bison got on the board after freshman Belladine hit a 2-run home run. They came back in the 7th, scoring 3 runs to end the game. Dean led the Bison with 3 hits, 3 RBIs, and 1 run. And junior Angelique Aguilar Bocage finished with 1 hit, 1 run, and 2 runs. The Bison picked up where they left off in Game 2, defeating St. Thomas 9-0 in 6 innings. Junior Emily Beringa got the Bison going after hitting a 2 RBI single to go up 2-0 in the 2nd inning. In the 4th inning, the Bison racked up 4 runs, courtesy to an RBI triple and 2 home runs. Aguilar struck back in the 6th inning, blasting a 3 RBI double to take the win. Emily Beringa sparked the Bison with 3 hits, 4 RBIs, and 2 runs. Sophomore Chloe Woodruff had 2 hits, 1 run, and 1 RBI. And Aguilar had 1 hit and 3 RBIs. On Monday, the Bison capped off the series, winning 6-2. Aguilar kept the home runs going after she connected on a 2-run home run in the 3rd inning. The Tommies replied at the bottom of the inning, also scoring 2 runs. However, the Bison released a final blow after Belladine hit a 3-run home run. Dean finished the game with 2 hits, 4 RBIs, and 1 run, and Aguilar finished with 2 hits, 2 RBIs, and 2 runs. They are now 26-16 overall, 10-5 in the conference. The Bison will return home, playing a doubleheader against UND on Saturday. The first game is at 12 p.m. at the Thurlton Park. And lastly, the women's golf team competed at the Summer League Championship earlier this week. The Bison earned its highest finish at the contest since 2018 with a 3-round total of 872. On Tuesday, the Bison ended the tournament placing 3rd out of 9 teams. Junior Catherine Monty fired a total of 217 to finish tied for 5th place. That was her 3rd top 5 finish this season. Sophomore Elise Hoven notched a score of 219 to finish tied for 9th place. Freshman Maddie Hicks also finished tied for 9th place with a total of 219. She closed the season achieving her 3rd straight top 10 finish. Junior Leah Scar and sophomore Joe Baranchik finished tied for 20th place to close the team's finish. That wraps up the team's outstanding season. Good work, Bison. Well, that's all I have for this Bison Sports Report. Now over to Corrado. Coy, with the weather, it's got better out. However, there's been showers lately.
Yeah, and we can expect to see some rainfall tomorrow. However, as the week goes on, we should start to see some higher temperatures once again. Taking a look at the current conditions going on now, as you can see, the temperature is 52 degrees coming to us from Hector International Airport. Dew point is around 39 degrees, and then the humidity is at 50%, and the winds are out of the northeast at 20 miles per hour with gusts of 28. Taking a look at the hour by hour for the rest of the night, as you can see, we are seeing some dense fog with some of that rainfall, the light rainfall we've been seeing today, and temperatures will drop off as we go into the night, and we will get some cloudy skies tomorrow as we can expect a little bit more rain tomorrow. Taking a look at the skycast, this morning sun rose at 6:18 a.m., sunset 8:31 p.m., gave us about 14 hours and 13 minutes of daylight there. And then looking at what's going on with the moon phases, we are currently in the first quarter phase with a full moon coming up on May 5th. And then taking a look at today's almanac, today's high was 58, today's low of 33, fairly close to what we expect to see for this time of year with an average high of 60 and an average low of 37. However, the high was set in 1910 with a high of 92 and a record low in 1909 of 12 degrees. So taking a look at what's going on across the country, not really a whole lot to notice here. As you can see, we are seeing the coldest temperatures we'll be seeing in the North Dakota area and over into the Rocky Mountain areas, but we are still seeing temperatures in the low to mid 40s there and reaching up to the low 50s as we go into the North Dakota Fargo-Moorhead area there. And then of course as you go down south, we are seeing temperatures warming up and getting into the 70s and 80s there. Taking a look at what's going on for the rain and snow forecast, not a whole lot of rain besides a little bit in the Colorado area. Besides that, we can expect to see some rain in the Fargo-Moorhead area, and then much of the eastern coast will also be hit with some rainfall into the next 48 hours. Taking a look at the next 7 days, kicking it off with the weekend, as you can see, tomorrow it will drop off just a bit, 49 degrees with a low of 39, and then Saturday we'll get a little bit of rainfall. Temperatures will hang right around that upper 40 degree mark, and then on Sunday we'll get some more sunshine back with a high of 50 and a low of 36. Taking a look at the rest of the week, Monday on May Day, we have a high of 53, low of 34, excuse me, and then as the week goes on, temperatures will start to slowly climb up and we'll retain some of that sunshine as the week goes on, and a high of 64 on Thursday with a low of 46. Also got a picture to us sent in this week from Jordan in Fargo. He's got a great picture of the northern lights here on Sunday night. They were popping up across much of the northern states in the country, and just a really cool picture of the Aurora Borealis there. Also taking a look at what's going on, just a little fun thing of some national holidays going on. Today is National Morse Code Day, also National Prime Rib Day, so hopefully you guys get a chance to enjoy some of that. Well, that's all I have for weather and for holidays for today. Back to you at the desk, Malik, excuse me.
Thanks, Coy. Well, that's all we have for this evening's newscast on the Bison Information Network. Thank you for joining us, and have a great night.